guys, we're now back with Nashville C head coach BJ Callaghan. Coach, 7 in a row unbeaten for the club, snapped Orlando's 12-match unbeaten streak, moving on to the quarterfinals. Just talk a little bit about the match and what you saw out there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, just to really, when we talk about team performance, this is the definition of it. Really proud of the whole group, the way the group prepared, the way the group performed. Again, we call on everybody, and we know that we have a deep squad and a squad that we believe in. And you see guys step up tonight, and it really shows the hard work and development that they're putting in. So a big step forward for us in the Open Cup competition, and just really proud of the whole team.
Thanks, Coach. We'll start with Christian in the room, and we'll do one each.
Yeah, thank you. Michael mentioned previously, how it was you have to call a bunch of guys. You have a lot of confidence in how deep your squad is. So again, you called up Wyatt Meyer, got the game-winning goal. So what was how do you feel about that, and about all the other boys that stepped up today, especially in a time right now where you've got so many games going on right now?
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot of congestion. Right? Coming into this stretch, the beginning of May, we talked about we're going to call on a lot of guys, and we build confidence in the group by doing what we say we're going to do, and we say we have confidence in young players. We say we're going to play young players. They couldn't have stepped on a bigger field tonight versus a really good team, and they performed. Wyatt specifically is a player that we believed in preseason. He started our first game of the year, and he just continued to get better, continued to develop, and I think he showed his versatility tonight by playing as a left back and doing a really good job, and again contributing to the goals. And then you have to tip your hat to young guys like Matt Corcoran, who's earned his opportunity. He's been waiting patiently in a difficult midfield to break into, and then takes his opportunity really well. Johnny Perez is another guy who comes in and makes a big impact for us. But again, I think for me the whole thing is that it's a team, because you also have some veteran players that played out there tonight, and that mix helps, and you can see how well the team works together.
Go ahead, Ben.
Yeah, BJ, I wanted to ask about just the team selection. Obviously, a lot of key performers just not in the squad. Was that kind of always the plan? And how pleased were you with how you already mentioned some of the young guys, but just kind of the cohesiveness against an Orlando side who not only are good but played essentially their strongest lineup?
Yeah, they're really good. Really good players played their strongest lineup. I would say it was not our original intention. We've sort of have a few, I would say, call them more like knocks that kind of came out of the Saturday game, and then also a couple that arose on Tuesday. And so for us, a couple guys got their number called on Tuesday to find out. But again, this is when we talk about how we want to play and how we want to train, how we want to prepare and how we want to perform. We have that next man up mentality, and guys know their roles, know their responsibilities. They're locked in every week. And now you can see that even on short notice, a role can change from maybe a reserve to a starter, and you can play right away. And, even a player like Brian Acosta, who's kind of, probably would prefer to play as a deep lying center midfielder, but we play him a little bit more advanced, and he's even pressing as a forward. Is able to take that information and apply it. And that's not easy, and it's a tremendous credit to him.
Okay.
BJ, I mean, you've already mentioned a few of the guys, but I'm curious about the work from Ethan OBrien tonight. I mean, not only what you've seen before, and that's the reason you brought him in, obviously, but what do you see from him before today and what he did today that you're pleased with?
Yeah, Ethan's a really good example of our club pathway and our club model. He's a player that's trained with the first team, but the role that we put him in tonight is the role that he's been doing down in Huntsville. And so when you call him in late, I mean, he was literally told probably at 1:00 in the afternoon on Tuesday that he was flying to Orlando to meet the team. But you meet with them in the evening, and you just show them that because they're doing the same things that we're doing up here in the first team, it's a seamless transition, and we have a ton of confidence to be able to put them in and do the role. And it's a credit to his professionalism to be able to do that. It's certainly not easy. But again, that's why we have great investment across the club, and why it's so important that our academy and our second team, Huntsville, and the first team are aligned for nights like tonight.
Jacob?
Yeah, BJ, you mentioned you took a few maybe more knocks on Saturday and on Tuesday that you were maybe anticipating. I guess with some of the guys that weren't included at all, I think I'll say Hani Mukhtar, Sam Surridge, Eddie Tagseth, Dan Lovett. So were those do you anticipate those guys to be available on Saturday against Toronto?
Yeah, I mean, we're working as hard as we can to have everybody available for Saturday. We're working around the clock. We're actually staying here in Orlando to make sure that we continue to get our training in, get our preparation in. So yeah, the idea is we're going to try to get as many healthy bodies ready to put out the best team we can versus Toronto.
Nick?
BJ, the 2 U.S. Open Cup matches so far for your team, you've gone with that 3 midfield set. I guess, do you look at that 4-3-3 formation as a, I guess, cat and mouse game for whoever you're going up against, either it's DC or Charlotte, because they have enough film on you guys? Or is it more of a familiarity thing for your players? Or is it, I don't know, I'm just trying to get a good gauge on, is it a comfortability thing? Get more minutes for your players? What is it?
Yeah, it's a little bit of combination of everything. I think as we kind of develop this team and build, we want to keep learning from experiences in the past, growing and learning. And so for us, I think we need to have primary and secondary systems with the ultimate idea of trying to set the players who take the field set them up the best to have success. And then you can even see in the late game, we changed to a back five, and we're getting more comfortable being able to adapt. Even in the second half, changed our defensive shape back to a 4-4-2 to try and mitigate some of the diagonals and sort of rollouts and overloads they were doing. So, as this group continues to learn and continues to grow, the more adaptable we are in the games, I think, makes us more difficult to prepare for, but at the same time gives us multiple solutions in game.
Blair?
Yeah, BJ, speaking of that adaptability, earlier in the season, you had a little bit of an issue closing out games for a couple of those games. And it seems like now you've had multiple games where you have been able to even maybe bring in an extra defender and just kind of get the win and seal it there. I guess, do you think that's just a time thing where the players kind of understood what you're trying to tell them, or did you work on that specifically throughout training?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both. Again, we continually reflect and refine what we're doing week to week and learning lessons from what opponents do to us. And so it's the combination of learning, growing, and then, planning and performing it on the field, in training, in video sessions. And again, continuing to push this group forward step by step as we continue to load more and more, information on them, and they're doing a great job. And the proof of that is their performances on the field.
Tim?
Yeah, BJ, as you guys continue to kind of build this program and in the kind of image of what you guys want to do, what does it say about the depth that you've already built, that you're able to, somebody else listed a laundry list of guys that you didn't have available, but without those guys, go against an Orlando team that was mostly first choice and be able to win on the road? And how do you continue to build that depth as you go forward?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're constantly just working on the development of all our guys. And you can see, as they earn their opportunities, it makes for a more competitive environment. And I always say it makes my job even harder each week to pick an 11, to pick a 20 or an 18. But as we create this competitive environment, you can see the development of players happening. And that's all we're really focused on, and that's all players. That's not just young players. We want to continue to develop all players in all areas. And we know, that'll basically, if we keep pushing that, our performances will get better. And if our performances get better over time, the results will come.